Well, football is, of course, ultimately just a game, but for the next 2 hours, it might not feel like that. The stadium is full of noise and energy. This certainly matters. Have a look at this. It is what you anticipate here these days in London North 7, an undulating red and white wave, an Arsenal wave which envelops the team. So it's down to business here. Jim, you've played in games of this nature. Who can make the difference?
Well, this guy, Donnarumma, is someone who's been predestined for greatness, Peter, and he hasn't disappointed. Immense in terms of shot stopping, we know that, but I think his distribution has also improved, and it needed to, although he likes to keep it quite safe and simple.
Yes, they'll certainly be leaning heavily on him. Messi's cross. That's rather hopeful. Oh, fine stop from the keeper.
Gravenberg actually didn't do an awful lot wrong, to be honest. They've got a healthy number of very tall targets to pick out from this corner.
Van de Ven. And it's Menu. Well seen, saw that coming.
He read that really well and stopped it.
Now it's Asensio. Not the most accurate pass. That's really well cleared. Ball's gone out of play. Pobega. Fermin. Arsenal are applying all the early pressure.
I know it's still early, but they're showing the better signs. No caution from them.
Pass somewhat off target. Kadiolu. And that interception was most necessary.
That's great positioning, so good from him.
Martinez gets it away. Milan have reclaimed it. Now it's Mbappe. So it is still 0-0. He's found a way through. Kadiolu. Eze.
A lot of space here, a real opportunity.
Hakimi calmly anticipates. That's a lovely, neat pass. Arsenal do seem to have a very clear game plan here, Jim.
Yeah, they're set up to play those long balls from deep, Peter. The front men have certainly been busy making the runs beyond that defence.
Well, it's a tried and tested formula, OK, but very demanding too.
Well, you need your boys up front to work extremely hard, and you need to get the passing right as well, of course.
Valverde, decent chance! Goal, Milan! The breakthrough strike!
Well, I don't want to be overly harsh on the defensive side of things here, Peter, but the build-up was so slick and executed with such quality, it made life just that bit too difficult for them.
Milan have broken through. It's 1-0.
Well, I guess this ought to make things interesting, Peter. No doubt the opposition will now be forced to play a more open and riskier game.
Well, now here's a good battle, bicep to bicep.
Messi really has the confidence and skill to be able to hold the ball up like that until support arrives a little sooner, and just maybe there he overdid it slightly and should have released it because the support was arriving quickly.
And it's Hakimi. And this is Messi. He's having a shot! Denied by an instinctive save.
I think he's done great there, both reading it and dealing with it.
And here's Messi. It's come through and he's had a quick look inside. And that has been knocked clear. He's having a go. And collective relief etched on the faces of the defenders.
Well, talking about creating a problem for yourself, okay, credit to good pressing, but that was entirely avoidable.
He's got plenty of space out wide here. He rises! Oh, surely that deserved a better outcome.
Yeah, it's very well timed. A delivery like that with the right amount of pace and whip can be a nightmare to defend against.
And he's only too happy to take that back. Pobega. Asensio. Milan have a free kick. Well, this looks promising in terms of distance and angle. So, a genuine chance to increase the lead. Asensio! Decent hit from there. Eze gathers from the goal kick. Now, can they get him away?
Arsenal certainly could do with a positive spell for the remainder of this half, just to set the tone for what's to come.
Now it's Messi. Oh, no joy this time. Baresi gets rid without sophistication. Threads one in. That has been cut short. And that is as far as they're going to go. Pass is coming off in quick succession here. Menu does well to get it back. And he's managed to get rid. Well read, nice interception. Pobega. No, that's been intercepted. Pobega. Now that looks a decent ball. He's shifting through the gears here. Crossed into the middle. And it's hoisted clear. And there's the end of the first half. There's been no shortage of industry or intent thus far. A little inspiration and inventiveness, perhaps the only things lacking.
Well, let's not beat about the bush, Peter. It's been fairly flat, and the support have had little to cheer about. So an awful lot of questions have got to be asked, and the answers need to be found in a hurry.
And a quick reminder today that parking in the area around the stadium is strictly forbidden. Please use parking provided by the club or any other paid parking facility.
And that's the start of another 45 minutes.
Arsenal can really do with some bigger names standing up here. At times they didn't even look as if they knew what they were doing.
Pobega. Oh, that's well spotted. He's had a fair tumble under that challenge. Knocks it into space. And the finish! Oh, it's fallen loose again! And yes, it's there! And there we have it, the two-goal cushion. And he's only too grateful to capitalise on the keeper's misfortune.
Well, listen, last line of defence and you don't get it right, then you're paying a visit to your net.
Things starting to look very comfortable.
Well, with this kind of authority, Peter, why not push on and totally kill this off?
That pass isn't the best. Oh, that's a key interception. Great vision. A probing pass. Van Dijk promptly onto that, and that is that. Now, what about a counter-attack? Oh, super find. Oh, that's fabulous. Shapes to shoot! Euphoria, utopia, and they are cavorting. And the lead is extended still further. And a trademark move ends with the inevitable classy finish.
Just when they thought they may be in at one end, they end up shipping a goal at the other, and it's all due to wonderful counter-attacking. They hardly had time to even react, and there's only one word to describe that: clinical.
Milan, and a chance! He has done it! That is a super smooth goal, beautiful manoeuvring of the ball, and splendid authority in the finish.
Yeah, the right touch in moments like that is key to what follows. All very neat and tidy.
Arsenal give themselves a Thuram! They've done it! A horrible blip, a situation utterly avoidable that has resulted in considerable embarrassment.
Yeah, they were made to pay for not moving the ball smartly enough through a very strong pressing wave.
2 goals on the day, and he may not yet be done. Arsenal get themselves back into contention.
Well, it's been an absolutely fabulous spell for them, and they're starting to look unstoppable. There could be more on the way. Arsenal really are going for it here, Peter. Now it's just a matter of sustaining the effort.
There is an irresistible, irrepressible look about them here.
You know, the interest value in this game might just take off from here.
There's the shot! And that has skimmed the post.
Oh, he got lots of power behind that, just couldn't quite get it on target.
So the manager can make a change for the first time in the game here.
Yeah, I think he's been told to play that role of the tactical pivot, spraying the ball about sometimes, driving it forward from the middle of the park.
Arsenal perhaps wondering what the best time is for their next substitution. And into the grateful arms of the keeper.
Yeah, they were looking for a counter-attack.
It's played through for him. Thuram gets into some space. Van Dijk is there, and he can... Shot, surely! And that is doing no harm at all. Menu, who's set up 1 goal so far. Taken back almost at once. Eze. Oh, they can break here. Almost 75 minutes on the clock now. Well, that is not the best ball, and he offers an apologetic look.
Ah, he made it look a bit predictable.
Looking for options for movement. Shin to shin, bicep to bicep, and he wins out.
They may end up with some regret with this tactic, but you have to admire their commitment to goals.
And here's Semenyo. Koundé wins the duel this time. And here's Thuram. Thuram showed plenty of zest in getting to the ball, but couldn't quite sort it out. And here's Messi. Skillfully cut out. He is so at ease on the ball. Arsenal are in dire need of a breakthrough. Can they?
All they need is one big chance, and it may do the trick.
Arsenal are making a change now. Martinelli getting the call here in what can be interpreted as a clear show of intent.
Well, this could lead to the injection of energy that might disrupt the rhythm of their opponents.
Kadiolu could try cutting inside here.
I thought it was going to happen then. How many more chances can they realistically expect now?
Coming on the field is number 18, VIDXO.
Now it's Martinelli. Alexander-Arnold does really well to win the ball there. Well played, that has snuffed out the danger. Aimed beyond the defence. That is a brilliant interception.
There will be 5 minutes.
5 minutes to add. And reclaimed it in a trice. Gravenberg. It's Trincao. That is ended up in no man's land. Pobega. Milan clearly now in lead preservation mode. And that will be the final act. A game of margins of thrills, the sort of game that is a great advertisement for our sport.